Before we dive into how to make a low ticket product feel like it's worth a premium product, grab my digital product sales system. It's the same system I use to position low ticket offers as premium experiences. I posted the link below in the description and pinned it as a comment so that you can get it today. So let's talk about the difference between $19 feeling cheap and $19 feeling premium is all in the presentation. So premium products lead with transformation, not price. They show proof. They have tight branding. They use testimonials and they position the offer in a way that screams, this is valuable. So when you package a low ticket offer like a high ticket one, you not only sell more, you attract better buyers. You get high quality people. So the gap between a $19 product and say a $199 product isn't always the content. It's the presentation. It's the way it feels, the way it's framed, the way it's delivered, because people pay for perception, or shall I say, some people pay for perception. They want to believe they're getting something valuable. When something is priced low, it sometimes immediately triggers doubt, and they wonder if it's incomplete. They assume it's light. They question whether it's worth their time, not just their money. But when you understand how to elevate perception, you can make a $19 product feel like it should cost 10 times more without changing a single word or module or lesson. Okay. So the first lever you're going to pull is the packaging. Most $19 products look and feel like what they cost. A link to a Google Drive folder, a zip file of random resources, a short PDF with zero visual polish is what you're going to get. And these things don't signal value. They signal that the product was rushed or repurposed or half thought out. So you can have the exact same content, but if it's wrapped in a guided experience into instructions, labeled downloads, a clean interface, then it suddenly feels premium. And premium is what you want your customers to experience. Luxury, okay? You want them to have a luxurious experience. So structure creates trust. And if someone opens your product and it looks like a client deliverable instead of a rough draft, they instantly relax. So they assume you know what you're doing. So they lean into the experience. And one way to do this is with an onboarding experience, even for a $19 product or a $27 product, even a $7 product. So you can give them a welcome video that explains how to get the most out of what they bought. You can include a quick start checklist that walks them through what to do first. You can also send, say, a follow-up email that has a reminder of encouragement and tips for implementation, because these like little touches take minutes to create, okay? And I'll say they're warm touches, but they have the power to completely shift how your product lands. People don't expect service at the $19 level. So when you show up with thoughtful direction, it feels luxurious. It feels expensive. So the next shift is in the naming and framing. Most people name their $19 products based on what they include. So they say blog post templates, Canva graphics, lead magnet swipe file. Okay, that's functional. It tells people what it is, but it doesn't make it feel valuable. So, to upgrade the feel of it, you have to shift the name from what it is to what it does. So you can say the 60-minute content engine, the client booking welcome sequence, 10 plug and play templates that fill your calendar. Do you see the difference in that? It draws you in. These are the same products, but better framing. They have better frames. So the new names implies results. They imply time saved, money earned, frustration avoided. And that's what makes people think this should have cost more. And now you got them. So, another angle that changes perception fast is authority stacking. A $19 offer with no proof feels cheap, but a $19 offer with screenshots, testimonials, or credibility markers feels like a steal. Okay, so you see how that goes? So let me ask you this. When you see something that's priced low, but presented like it's luxury, do you trust it more or less? Tell me in the comments because I'm curious to know. Because your goal is to remove all the signals that scream cheap, cheap, cheap. Okay, so you don't want to have sloppy graphics, vague descriptions, generic promises, and replace them with clear outcomes, authority, and trust cues. So you're not faking value, you're revealing it. And if someone used your product and got a win, showcase it. Let everyone know. So if you've used it in your own business, document the result. If the method inside reflects years of experience, say that. And these are the exact prompts that I've used in client funnels that have generated six figures. That kind of statement reframes the low price as a gift, not a red flag. Okay. And many of you, we know what red flags look like, right? So you can also position your product as a part of a bigger system. If you isolate it as a standalone, a throwaway, that's how people will treat it. But if you say, this is the first tool in my full XYZ framework, now it feels foundational. Now it feels like step one in something with depth. So even if they don't buy anything else, they'll still feel like they're holding a valuable piece of a larger solution. And that expands the perceived reach of what they just bought. So it makes the $19 feel like it feels more like an entry point and not a discount bin. So you see how that framing works. And you guys can go back and binge some of those framing videos that I talked about how to frame your products and services. But one of the most powerful ways to elevate your low priced product is to pair it with constraints, limited access, limited spots, or fast acting bonus. These can make a cheap product feel exclusive. So genuine scarcity, and scarcity is not for just, it's not just for high ticket items. People move faster when there's something they could miss. So even at $19, especially at $19, if you say only available until Sunday, or only sold during live launches, or includes bonus X for the first 100 buyers, the price suddenly feels like a loophole, like they're getting in before the door closes. So that urgency multiplies perceived value, not because they fear losing money, but because they fear losing access. So, next, I want you to think about how you describe the transformation. Most $19 sales pages are lazy. Let's just face it, okay? We're going to call a thing a thing. So, a headline, a few bullets, maybe a short blurb, they don't sell the value because they assume the price will carry it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that is a huge mistake. If you sell it like it's worth $19, it's going to land like it's worth $5, okay? But if you write your pitch like it's for a $199 course, that's the energy people will feel. So paint the before and after for them. Talk about what they're struggling with now and how this solves it. Use specific examples, strong verbs, emotional language, but don't downplay it just because it's affordable. Elevate it with the same force you would that you would use for something that's 10 times the price. Now, you can also create the should have been a course vibe, right? So by giving your product a journey. So even if it's short, if it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, it feels like a system. And people want systems. People desire systems. And so they want hand holding. If all you're doing is giving them 3 templates, wrap them in a simple 3 step process, and you have, like, say, for instance, step 1, use this to gather leads. Step 2, use this to qualify them. Step 3, use this to close. Now the buyer isn't just getting tools, they're getting movement, and movement creates momentum. They can see the path, and that feeling is what makes them assign more value to what they bought. And guess what? They're going to come back because design matters too. A well designed PDF feels expensive. A plain Google Doc does not. So you don't need a graphic designer. You just need consistency, white space, readable fonts, and a layout that looks like you care. So, add a logo, use your brand colors, include page numbers and section headers, add a quote, give your personal touch to it. So these are little small personal touches, but they create a polished feel that tells your buyer this wasn't slapped together in a weekend. Okay, it shows that you care. And that impression travels with them. It stays with them. And they don't just feel like they got more than they paid for. They believe you're someone who delivers quality, even at the lowest price point. They believe you are someone who cares because you have shown them in the quality of your work and your delivery. Okay. So another strategy is add a mini case study inside the product. So show someone using it and what happened. And then after applying this script, one client landed 3 discovery calls in 48 hours. So it can be something as simple as that. Now the product isn't theory, it's proof. And that simple example can shift the buyer's mental math. It moves them from I bought a resource to I bought something that works. Okay. So you didn't change the content, you changed the lens, you changed the perspective, you shifted the frame. So you can also use email to reinforce the value after the sale. Most people send a receipt and disappear. You can send a series that walks them through wins. Here's how to get the most out of what you just bought. Something as simple as that. Here's a tweak power users love. Here's what to do next. That support makes your $19 product feel like it came from a concierge. Okay? So that's how you build loyalty. And that's how a $19 sale turns into a $199 relationship and a $10,000 program. So low ticket doesn't have to mean low impact. You just have to stop treating your small offers like they're small deals, and they're not. So I want you to, they're trust builders, okay? They're trust builders, they're authority signals, and they're first impressions. And the way you present them determines everything that comes after. So when some buyers buy something tiny and it feels big, they're hooked, not just on the product, but on you. They're hooked on you. So you don't need to change the product to elevate the value. You need to change the experience around it. And that can be the name, the look, the copy, the follow up, the way it's positioned in your ecosystem. Okay. So once you do that, the way you talk about it, the way it makes the buyer feel, the moment they open it up, you don't need a new offer. You need to present what you already have like it matters. Because when you do, that $19 price tag, 1927.7, it doesn't feel cheap. It feels lucky. They feel blessed to have it. And your buyers walk away thinking, I can't believe I got all of this for that. That's how value is built. That's how trust is earned. And that's how $19 starts pulling in the kind of brand loyalty most people can't even get at $1,000. Okay. So understand that, and you are on your way. If you want my full framework for positioning any offer, whether it's big or small, as a premium, grab my digital product sales system. It's the same system that I use. The link is in the description, and I've also placed it in the comment section, and it's pinned. So you can get it today, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And remember, be a legend.